What's going on, Steeler Nation? I'm back with another video, and on this one, I will be talking about. Get a little light in here. I'm sorry. On this one, we will be talking about a trade that involved the Bears. It wasn't really trade. They were calling, but you'll get the point. The Bears called the Steelers about Mike Tomlin, and it was immediately shut down by Art Rooney and Tomlin themselves. It coming out, it didn't even make it to Tomlin. In fact, when it did, or even if it did, it wouldn't make a difference because he has the final say because he has a no trade clause. But what we're going to be talking about in this video is how the Steelers are afraid of moving on and or being aggressive just in general. But the one person I'm going to point out in this is Art Rooney. Art Rooney II. A lot of you have seen me on here call him Art the Clown a few times for good reason. And it's really become a factor that I don't see this being big change like Mike Tomlin expects it to be, or he says it will be. His quote unquote, there will be big changes. Yeah, okay. No, there's not. You're still a pretty damn good possibility, and I'm going to say you'll see Terrell Austin back as DC because he's a Mike Tomlin guy. And I'm not even going to bother mentioning Arthur Smith because he will be back. I knew that they would be back. So, what I'm going to talk about is how they're just afraid of change. They don't want to adapt to the NFL today. And what I mean by that is mixing it up. You're going with a pistol offense and shotgun instead of how a lot of these teams nowadays does it, which is like what gun bunch type of offense and single back. It's the same shit. It's the same shit. And in fact, while I'm on the topic, when it was brung up at this point during the immediate talk, which was over quickly, Mike Tomlin said in a press conference, save your time. So yeah, it's it's not looking too good. So with that and all the reminder, it comes down once again to owners. This table, I swear, the owners and they're conservative. Being conservative and safe. And that ultimately leads down to another, again, Mike Tomlin. It's a real shame that we are now into the point as a fan base and an organization as to where it is okay to accept mediocrity. To be stuck in the middle of the road. We're not at the bottom, we're not at the top, we're in the middle. We're a middle of the road team now. And the standard is mediocrity. That's the standard for the Steelers today, which is a shame. It it really is a shame because if you look at it, we really we have the talent, but the problem is we don't have a good O-line coach. We don't have a good defensive coordinator, a good offensive coordinator. Our defensive back coach really ain't all that. I mean, he does good at times when he needs to when coaching that group up, but not the way you want. And it's going to continue being the same thing because you're only going to do as good as the coaching staff does. If the team plays good in the first half of the season, but then plays sloppy in the second half, well, that's a remark on the coaching tree, and not only that, but the owner. First and foremost, it will be the owner. It's going to be the same song and dance. The same song and dance as it was this season, you will see next season. Tomlin, you say that there will be change. He explains that there will be change. But we're what? 6, 8 days, 9 days in, whatever you want to call it. And where's the change? I know what they're doing. They're waiting until closer to free agency or or after the Super Bowl and stuff. But the way I see it is if they want to make change, then they better live up to it. Don't settle. Stop settling for okay, which or average at any point or your new standard of just winning in the regular season, losing the rest of the second half of the schedule and losing in playoffs. You know, we used to strive for Super Bowls, man. That's what we used to do. But now it's like we're okay with average. Oh, we did a whole lot with much less. I don't care. I don't care about overachieving as a head coach or underachieving. I don't care. That overachieve and underachieve does not win you another Super Bowl. You need a good voice in the locker room as a head coach because that does matter. I don't think Tomlin has it, just him and his pronouns. And then you have Art Rooney, who will forever, until he sells the team, which he won't. He'll die before that happens. Either that or hand it off to. I would be worried as hell to see what his son or something would do with this team. Because if he's anything like his dad, then my God. Was his name like Dan Rooney the Third? I think that's what he named his son. I'm not sure, but I hate even knowing that if his son did a terrible job and had that name Dan in there with it because there's Dan Rooney himself before he passed. He was all about winning, getting us to the Super Bowl, but he would call out a lot of the shit that happened. That was him. That was how he did things. So, in my point of view, is mediocrity is what the standard is now, and no changes will happen. I firmly believe that, and even if they do, like DC or O-line, it'll probably be somebody even worse than what Terrell Austin and Pat Meyer is. I would love to see us hire Robert Saleh as the defensive coordinator because I love how he ran the defense for the Jets. And the Jets really shot themselves in the foot by firing him when he was the only one keeping that defense up. And you've seen how it affected them. They shot themselves in the foot so much in one season. But if there's anybody I would want at that position or at that, coaching position, it'd be Robert Saleh as the defensive coordinator. I mean, why not? Look how good he's done. I don't even think there would be too many people that would be against having Robert Saleh as the defensive coordinator for the Steelers. So, in my mind, where do I see this team? The same position as last season. They will be just good enough to get Tomlin a winning record again and either make the playoffs or don't make it, and even if we do make it, we have the same outcome. It's not negative if you've seen this over the years. And it's not just Tomlin, it's Art Rooney too. I'm tired of seeing the same song and dance every time. But again, I won't stop watching games on TV. Now, granted, I'm from West Virginia. I live here in West Virginia in a trailer. And I love the Steelers. I was I was raised to be a Steelers fan. I get that because of my mom. And she was a huge Steelers fan, and the last time I got to see them win a Super Bowl was 2 years before she passed, which was 2011 when she passed. Or saw them win it in 2009. During 2008 season, then 2009, it was a little bit of, us still being able to win, but a little bit later down the line, here we are with the same coach we had, and I'm expected to put my faith in him, but I'm also supposed to have faith in our owner. Art Rooney does not care about winning. He doesn't care. He's too stuck in the past. Looking back at 20 freaking years ago or something. I don't know. And thinking, yeah, that's the Steelers standard. At the time, it was because that kind of stuff worked when going up against other teams. But now, nah, bro. That's not going to work in today's NFL. Just running the ball constantly and then once in a blue moon passing it, and even when you do pass it, it's the most what's the word I'm looking for? The most discombobulated play calling I've seen from a coordinator. We let Bruce Arians go because we were afraid that his type of play calling was going to get Ben hurt. Then we brung in Todd Haley. He did pretty good. He did well. He actually ran a pretty damn good offense. And then came, uh, lordy lord. In came Randy Finkner as the offensive coordinator when I believe he was the QB's coach. And that was just a tragedy. Dude looked like freaking Peter Griffin with a damn beard and shit. But again, onward, we finally fire him. And then we bring in Matt Canada, which we thought was going to be, hey, he can switch things up. Oh, he can run the offense and bring a little bit of the new game stuff to the game or to this team. And that was the biggest shot to the heart and right through the heart and out your back. And it took until 2023 to fire him. And I'll say this now. Even if we do fire Terrell Austin, the only person I see is either Robert Saleh or Brian Flores. One of those, I wouldn't be mad one bit. But I'm scared that Tomlin will want to take over the playbook. Nobody whose defense is worth a fuck or defensive stature ain't worth a fuck when you come to the Steelers because we don't let them run it. That's our biggest issue when it comes to our coordinators, especially the good ones. They want to stay away because they're like, well, I'm not going there because, I don't want my playbook being taken over, my coaching style taken over by another coach. And thus, that's where we are today. That's the whole thing. When you got an owner that doesn't care anymore, he's just okay. He's settled with average and just getting winning seasons and no playoff victories. Because if you look at it now, Mike Tomlin's record in playoffs is 8-11. Next year, if we make playoffs, it'll be 8-12. That's him as a coach, guys. But this was our 6th straight loss in the 5 playoff games we've been in, and the wild card. 6 losses. That's horrible. Horrible. Why do we settle for this? And why, it's sad to think, why do us as a fan base settle for okay? Why do we settle for hey, it's let's bring in someone like, for example, Hal Smith's play calling. Now, if you know me, and you've seen my TikTok videos and my YouTube videos, you know I've said give him a chance. And I was willing to give him a chance. But it just hasn't worked out. Now, if he was to add a little bit of the creativity to that, which is ultimately what Arthur Smith's problem has been his whole career, his creativity to mix in these great plays. That's why you see a coordinator like Ben Johnson get a coaching job, because of how well he did his job at the offensive coordinator position. And nobody will on this app who knows Ben Johnson will sit there and say he doesn't at least do or doesn't deserve a shot, because he does deserve at least a shot to be a head coach in this league. And I was one of them that said I would want Ben Johnson. But he's with the Bears now. And I hope he does good. And he can push the Bears to be a successful team. Because the Bears have been so bad for so many years. Well, I mean, you had the 2018 season. I'll throw that in there. But before that, really haven't done anything since the 85 Bears, which is sad. A historic franchise like the Bears are in the position that they are. Same with Steelers. Why do we continue to accept mediocrity and average at best, middle of the road? That's just how we are, man. It's not good. But Art Rooney doesn't see it that way. Art Rooney doesn't see it as they're in a bad position. I know exactly what he'll say in his or his freaking interview with Missy Matthews and stuff like that. What he'll be asked, what is your goal for this season? Well, it's to put a team together to win a Super Bowl, and we have to go to playing Steelers football. And that'll be it. That'll be it. That's how you can see it going. But it's the definition of insanity when you do the same shit and expect different results. That's the definition of insanity. And I personally don't believe that we'll ever win a Super Bowl under Art Rooney II, Tomlin, and this coaching staff. None of it. And to point this out, please don't bring back Russ. Don't bring back Dan Moore. And definitely don't bring back Calvin Austin. There's two Calvins on this freaking team. I'm sorry. Calvin Anderson. Don't bring back Nate Herbig. His brother Nick Herbig is a stud. You absolutely keep him. I would bring back Justin Fields because I think he needs to be given a shot. But again, even with him at the quarterback position, because he is considered a dual threat quarterback, which is what you want in today's NFL. But it's not going to mean shit, really. It's not going to mean anything unless you make the right changes and build around for him. You give him at least a good team, just in the instance, a good team with good receivers around him, a good O-line, and also have a coordinator who can mix in the play calling and stuff. Like, dude, I'd love to see what Justin would do. And you know what? If he doesn't work out, that's okay. We didn't give up a second or third for him. We gave up a sixth. He'll still be a good backup. And another thing is, when it comes to the defense, just there's a lot of change that would need to be made there. I have my doubts about someone like, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but Minkah Fitzpatrick, because he just seems like this season he was slow. He was playing very poor, like soft, and wasn't the hard-hitting free safety that we traded for. But again, I understand why people defend him. Well, people don't look his way because they know what'll happen. On the contrary, people have looked his way in the past and he's gotten burned. Case in point, go back to the Philadelphia Eagles game where he was right there and could have made a play against A.J. Brown during that. I think it was correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was the 2022 season. And A.J. went up for a grab and he got it. And it's like Minka didn't even try to force the ball out or anything. Sorry. But yeah, it to me, this team just needs a complete overhaul. You need to rip the Band-Aid off and move on from everybody. And yes, that even includes... I hate saying this. Oh, this kills me. T.J. Watt included. I hope we bounce back, but that's just wishful thinking for me. I'm not going to get ahead of myself on that, and I'm not even going to sit here and say that that's going to happen because it's not. With what we did in the second half of the season, it's not going to turn out good. But it's because of those missteps, like for instance, drafting Kenny Pickett and all that kind of crap. And then Dan Moore, when we went to go get Kenny Pickett, you could have went, I believe at the time it was Creed Humphrey. Could have had him. He was even there when we picked Pat Freiermuth. You could have gotten him then. But instead, he's with the Chiefs, and he is now winning Super Bowl, guys. So, yeah. We need every change at both coordinator positions. It won't happen in my eyes until I see it happen. Believe it when I see it. But we got to do better. We got to be able to make the right changes, and I hope we do. But at the end of the day, and I quote, I believe it was from Gary Dulac, when asked, or not Gary Dulac, but Gary Dulac came out and said, or an NFL insider said, the Steelers do not plan on making any changes at either coordinator position or any position. Now, if that's true, which I'm willing to bet every dollar I got that it's true, nothing's going to change. It'll be the same story, same outcome, same result. We'll be able to beat the bad teams and lose to the elite teams. That's how it'll go. I hope I'm wrong, because I always want to be proved wrong by this team. But yeah, anyway, that's it for this video. Again, I'll have more content out for the mock drafts. So that'll be a little bit later on down the line when we get closer to the draft. But if there's any news that comes out of any changes or anything like that, I will be on here. I will get on here and make a video about it. Because at the end of the day, I'm a Steelers fan. I'm a diehard Steelers fan. I want what's best for this team. I want to see the correct changes that are necessary. But when you're used to it by now, you just go by you just grab onto your high horse and go on with it until it's gone. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed. I know I did some rambling on in this video. I'm so sorry about that. I will get better at it. Um, just take your time with me. It's tough for me, but it helps me getting on here doing these videos. So that makes it even more better to sit here and talk with you guys. But again, let me know what you guys think down below. Give me your thoughts on what you like to do. Would you like to see Saleh as the defensive coordinator? And who would you want as the offensive coordinator if by some miracle we went on from Arthur Smith, but we won't. But at the end of the day, here we go, Steelers. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and share with your friends because you guys make this possible. And it keeps me going back. I mean, I even had at one point 3 subscribers. I've had 2 more since, and I'm now at 5. So keep on liking this video. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe, like button. Get this to however many likes you can. And however many likes I get on that, even if any, I'll still come on and do it. So at the end of the day, as always, here we go, Steelers, and have a very blessed day and peace.